You're watching Byline Wilmington on CBS 10 WILM. Here's your host, Don Ansell.
And we're back. Our guest, Mike Giles.
Giles.
The G is a J. Who is a coastal advocate, and Tracy Scrable, who is an environmental scientist. They're both with the North Carolina Coastal Federation, who opposed the Titan initiative, and I'll repeat that on June 20th. Bob Odom, who is the project manager for the Titan project, will be our solo guest, and we'll get that side of the story then. So what do you think are the chances? Of course, no one would know, except maybe Titan, whether they might appeal this court decision.
Well, Mike can speak to this, but it's actually would be appealed by the state.
Yeah, the State Department of Environment and Natural Resources and Department of Administration would appeal, and they're in the decision-making process right now.
As to whether
they're actually advocating for Titan? I mean, that's what it would appear like.
You know, and this is a result of high-pressure, high-paid lobbyists, 24/7, 8 paid lobbyists by Titan, working over 3 years on behalf of the company.
So is that because the state applies for this permit, and if it's denied, that's why they have to?
No.
I mean,
no, the issue is the state made a decision in telling Titan that they didn't need to go through SEPA. We challenged that decision.
Who brought that lawsuit?
We did, the Coastal Federation, Cape Fear River Watch, and Pender Watch, together with the citizens, the Friends of the Lower Cape Fear.
It's a pretty expensive process, wasn't it? How's it paid for?
And the issue is paid off the citizens, out of the citizens' pockets and their pocketbooks and their bake sales and their family auctions and community events.
It's not tax money.
It's not tax money, and none of the money we use is tax money. The issue is that the citizens are having to do this. It's the state's job to enforce the law.
Now, what about Titan's assertion that this court decision sends a message that the state is anti-industry and could put future commerce in North Carolina at risk?
Well, I think that is, we'd expect them to say that. That's another one of the strategies. However, it's not true. I mean, the fact of the matter is that those triggers are very, very specific, the 3 triggers. Very few industries would meet those triggers. And the ones that would meet those triggers are exactly the one that the legislature intended to go through this more detailed, comprehensive, coordinated review. Again, state monies or state property, environmental harm, and needing permits. So,
now this is going to be a long question. I don't know if the answer is as long, but the Stop Titan movement, which is a lot of grassroots organizations coming up to oppose Titan, suggests that there will be devastating environmental fallout and danger to human health if the plant's allowed to locate here. And yet government, on all levels, from my perspective, local, they're giving incentives, state, they're giving incentives and trying to get the permit process done for Titan to locate here. Federal, the Army Corps of Engineers, and their process was in question. If it's so bad for people and the area, why would government on all levels support it?
That's a key question, and it is important to look at our government and how it operates. In Raleigh, it operates through power and money and access to legislators.
So that really trumps what Stop Titan looks at as the common good, or the
yes, and I'll give you an example. The Environmental Protection Agency is coming out with new regs on cement plants. They've been trying to put more controls over cement plants, which are heavy polluters, for 20 years. It took lawsuits by citizens to the federal government to realize what the effect of cement plants on our environment.
The government doesn't really care about the people.
No, the government sets a floor, a limit, and then they're lobbied heavy by special interest in industry.
And that's about votes in elections.
It is.
And I believe too, Don, that when Titan came to town here through the Committee of 100, I know for a fact that our commissioners did not know what they were getting. I believe they didn't ask the right.
Due diligence?
I believe they absolutely did not. Having said that, and I believe some of them are sorry, they've told us. Having said that, they know now. And you know, citizens have raised over 8,000 signatures at this point, and we've provided them with reams and reams of information, and doctors, 230 doctors have spoken out. And to this day, our county commissioners and the council have not asked their environmental staff to prepare for them a research initiative on what it would actually cause. And so you can't.
Maybe they don't want to know.
Well,
because then they'd have to.
I think their answer is that they're afraid of being sued. The incentives have already been granted. To us, it makes no difference. And we have a great example in Surrey County. Just the commissioners in Surrey County just this week turned away a industrial development company who they had wooed to come in. They had provided incentives and purchased them land. The community came out strongly opposed on environmental grounds, and the commissioner said, sorry, no thank you, just this week.
And our question is, why didn't our county commission do that? Why don't they listen to the citizens? Because the citizens have been overwhelmingly opposed to this plan.
Do you think the county commissioners are, in New Hanover County are supporting something they know in their hearts will foul the environment and be a danger to human health?
I think the facts are there. What Titan is going to emit out of that stack, the mining, the impacts on the groundwater, it's there for them to look at and to assimilate. The facts are there.
All right, this may be a rhetorical question, but do you trust government?
I believe the government, in this case, is flawed. It is flawed and biased in favor of industries like this being able to work the system.
Do you trust government in general?
In these days, it's hard to.
I mean, they work within very limited viewpoints. SEPA is designed to make sure that doesn't happen, designed so that all the agencies have to talk to each other. There are great people in these agencies who have great concerns and have raised them. But for a company like Titan with 8 full-time lobbyists, they know how to work the system. This isn't their first rodeo.
Do you think there's been corruption in the process?
Well, I think you could look at the fact
money,
who Titan's talking
influence.
to. They have access to the governor, the Secretary of Commerce, the Secretary of the Department of Natural Resources, and citizens don't have that easy 24/7 access in Raleigh.
Titan has access to the governor?
They have access to the administration.
They have 8 full-time lobbyists whose job is to be up there speaking to the legislators.
So do people, they elect people that make rules, laws, regulations.
And the people that are elected, that we elect up in Raleigh, are bombarded by lobbyists 24/7, 365 days a year, and the citizens are left out of this important decision-making process.
And it's also important to note, Don, that in the last legislature last year, our entire local legislative contingent was against Titan getting their permits until they had to go through SEPA, and they were willing to attempt to pass a moratorium on this plant. Unfortunately, we didn't win that vote in the legislature, but it's important to note that our entire local legislative contingent was firmly in the camp of requiring them to go through SEPA.
All right, we're going to take another break. We'll come back. New EPA standards are being proposed and might well be adopted. What impact will that have on the Titan initiative? We'll talk about that when we come back.